Again, for a frank and honest discussion about today's automotive issues. Here's your moderator, Tony Quiroga.
Welcome to Window Shop with Car and Driver. This is the weekly show where Car and Driver editors, staffers, contributors, and a lone road and track editor gather to shop for cars online based on a challenge. This week's challenge is from a viewer. It's about what cars had a terrible follow-up. So the car went from great to terrible in one generation. So that was the challenge this week. The budget was $75,000 to open it up to anything pretty much. And this week we're joined by senior editor from Road and Track, Mr. John Burley Huffman, senior editor Joey Caparella, deputy testing director Mr. Casey Colwell, and the great Jonathan Ramsey is back with us. Jonathan, you want to kick it off since we've missed you so much?
Oh,
you want to give it to Pearly?
What continent are we on, though? That's more important.
That well, considering that there is internet, I am back in Spain instead of deepest, darkest Paddington-filled Africa. No, Peru is where Paddington. Yeah, the other Peru in Africa. So I, of course,
You're in Tanya.
And it's clearly happy hour in Spain.
I'm kind of weak on my geography or geology, whatever it is. So, of course, I went overseas because that's what I do.
Overseas from where?
Yeah, you already are.
Did you find a car in the U.S.?
That's also a good point. So I went a few places overseas. This time I went to Australia because I think one of the greatest travesties ever committed against enthusiasts was to have, in 2017, this was the top of the line Commodore, 6.2 liter V8, 408 horsepower, 420 pound-feet of torque, rear-wheel drive, 6-speed manual. I mean, this, yeah, is
a beast.
A very fun car. And then
this was the Chevy SS.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the SS we all wanted.
Right.
Actually, yes, it was that. And then the next year, this was the top of the line.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And now I do have to admit, like, it's the insignia is not the Holden insignia. Well, the insignia, the Regal, the whatever is
this
not.
car had a lot of different badges. Yeah.
It has Vauxhall, Opel, Holden, Buick.
Yeah, that's not good. So it went from a V8 rear-wheel drive to transverse front-wheel drive with an all-wheel drive option, right?
Yeah, exactly. With only automatic, and it was slower than the car it replaced and more expensive.
Isn't it all because they got rid of the manufacturing in Australia, so they couldn't, do anything?
No, exactly. Well, but I mean, I think part of the issue is, like, why would you even call this Commodore? Why not just say, we had a great run, the Commodore is dead, we're going to give you a bang up last gen, go with it? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, when Lionel Richie left the Commodores, they didn't keep calling themselves the Commodore.
Oh God, really?
Didn't they? I thought they did keep calling themselves the Commodore.
They did?
Yeah.
Well, nobody went to see them, right?
Right now, in some Indian casino,
They weren't commercially successful.
The Commodores are appearing at some Indian casino. So
exactly, because they were like, the lead singer after Lionel was like, he's not the Commodores, we're the Commodores, and without him, it's okay.
Oh, that happened? I was unaware of that.
Yeah. Everybody was unaware of that because they had one song, and
nobody showed up to that press conference where he made that announcement.
I think, yeah, they and Milli Vanilli were the last members that have been hanging out ever since. So, yeah, like, it was just terrible. They called this Commodore, and Australians were rightfully.
Well, the resale value is definitely with the other one. That's for sure. The market clearly saw through this.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's an Australian guy who was like, I mean, that's a what?
It's a huge difference in price.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's double.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're going for 160.
160.
Australian dollars?
150. I mean, you can find them so much, but I mean, still 160 is, I mean, this one has 32,000 kilometers, 20,000 miles on it. But yeah, they're all
Well,
over.
This one's like 60,000 US dollars.
Yes.
And that car is still, that's a, this series Commodore is essentially an E39 copy of the BMW E39 chassis.
Yeah, it's a really like cut rate E39.
I remember a comparison test that Car and Driver did with an E39 M5 against like an Australian spec Commodore.
Oh yeah, Aaron wrote that. Yeah, Aaron wrote that in like 2001, 3.
Yeah, it was during the
How,
E39.
how did it stand up?
Pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
You look at the suspension design and the specifications, the size and everything, it's an E39.
Yeah,
I mean,
with
really
an awesome, reliable, fuel efficient small block.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's really
Well,
Thank you.
fuel
Well,
I
efficient.
wonder what the market's like for the Chevy SS in the US currently.
good. But by the way, guys,
Yeah, many of them.
in
It's
case,
strong.
in case you guys are wondering, the Commodores are appearing at the Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
No plugs, no free plugs, no free ads.
Tomorrow night, you can get your tickets
think-
on
Come on. I think that's a pity.
www.commodoreslive.com.
Okay, so I was wrong about the Commodores, is what you're
Okay.
saying.
But well, I mean, but you had it right as it should have been, but they and GM didn't know any better to change the names of what they had going on.
But the theme is
So-
the same. This Commodore and the next Commodore, Lionel Richie's Commodores and those Commodores.
Boom.
Terrible follow.
There.
Okay, there you go. You win, you win, you win.
You can
Yeah,
get a
you get-
Chevy SS, a used Chevy SS for like in the 40s. I think that's a pretty good deal.
For under 40.
Yeah, around 40.
40,
Well,
getting a pretty good
The
car.
manual ones are a lot more.
Yeah, the manual ones are
They're
valuable.
rare. They're rare.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my, I mean, again, not a terrible car, but just a travesty what happened here, which, oops, not that. It is my entry.
What are we going to
Sorry.
vote on? Who picked the car that was the worst?
Yeah, what transition?
Best spread.
represented the worst. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Huffman.
I'm convinced that
The world's got to see what you brought.
I'm convinced that everybody's going to pick exactly the same car I brought. I
Oh,
picked.
wait, hold on, Pearly. Have you driven a neat car lately?
Yeah, I did, but I can't talk about it because it's for another publication. And thanks for bringing it
Oh.
up, Jonathan. Just look forward
Okay,
to
that's bad. Because you have a look like you've done something really cool lately.
Well, I just want to say is look forward to another exciting issue of Road and Track magazine. Honestly, and visit us at roadandtrack.com.
Isn't that?
I just
Pearly,
got to
isn't
say,
that a
I
volume?
cannot believe anybody let you get that close to that machine. and let
Isn't
you
that a
drive it. I'm
volume,
just saying.
Pearly? Not an issue.
It's a volume. What do they call them? I don't know. I'm but
It's an issue.
I'm but a simple farmer. All they do is they give me soil to till. I till the soil. I grow the crop. I present it.
My goodness.
for your-
So Pearly, you
No, you forgot
I
you
was so
break the
close.
combine.
I'm just waiting for him to just start saying like Parnelli Jones is a close personal friend now.
All right, Pearly, get on with it.
Are you seeing this? Are you seeing the Honda Civic?
I'm seeing your drop
There are.
in your tile.
Are you? Oh, good. Here. You
You're
want
not
to
seeing a tire?
that better? Is that better, Tony?
Thank you.
Oh my God, I've missed this so much. Thank you. Everything is on here. Oh my God. I'm so happy.
Okay. So okay. Wait a second. Okay, I'm gonna go.
Wait, what happened?
No, it was there. You did it right.
Yeah, you
Starting
got
over.
it. You got it, bud.
It's starting
Okay,
over.
Here it is. In 2012, or actually in September 2011, I wrote this story for a major newspaper. But it's the New York Times. You may have heard of it. I used to write for them quite a lot, and I wrote about the incredible disappointment of the 2012 Civic. So this car is, I thought, just a big disappointing car. They took the Civic Si, they robbed it of all the good stuff, and gave it an Accord engine.
Right.
And destroyed the car.
Yeah, they took out the high revving free spirit of the old one.
Yeah, the old
And
K20.
even like the rear suspension was they went backwards. I can't remember what they put in, but
I
wasn't
think,
it?
that's previous. I think that's previous generation. But anyhow,
Okay.
this is a car that just obviously I owned one. I owned one of the 8th generations. It's the 9th. The 9th was just nothing. And I really love these cars, the 8th generation car, and the 9th generation car was just a complete disappointment. And then,
Was this was a 2.4? Was that the
Yeah.
engine?
or yeah,
Yeah.
with the it's basically an Accord engine,
It's a
and
good engine. It's just not special like the predecessor's engine.
Yeah, the predecessor, had that awesome, like, I mean,
Super high revving, yeah.
it was like 8,500 RPM engine, something like
Yeah,
that.
it's an $8,000 bread line or something. It was just
8,000 something, yeah.
It was just so much fun, you couldn't stand it. This just wasn't as much fun. I think it's interesting that this one, which only has 41,000 miles on it, is at $16,995 because prices right now are stupid.
Are you gonna save it?
Well, no, but here's a 2009 with 40,000 miles on it. Basically the same price.
Oh,
Yeah.
And 3 years older, it's about similar mileage. I'd much rather have the 2009 car than have the 2012 car.
I mean the story they gave was that they were developing the car during the Great Recession, and they felt like Americans, we need to decontent the car because blah blah, blah prices, and Americans don't really care anyway, and it's a Civic, and
they were wrong.
Well, they admitted their mistake
but they also.
Well, I don't know if they admitted their mistake as much as they.
But they redid it again. Well, not redid
exactly
it.
like in 2013. Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I don't know if you know this, but they called me in, and I informed them what they should change, and they changed it because I was working for the New York Times, and I was a very important person, and I helped.
I feel like we're back to Hollywood Squares.
So, Tony and myself both Tony and myself
really
both declined that meeting. So
I feel like that didn't happen.
It was
I don't believe him.
Yeah.
Jonathan gets the square.
yeah.
Anyhow, that's mine. Is the 9th generation Civic in general is a very disappointing car.
That was a lateral move at best and a backward step. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, really.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it I don't know if I call it a disaster, but it was pretty close to a disaster for them.
It was a big
They also probably read a lot of stuff. I mean, at the time, it was like GTI and SI were kind of going up against each other, and they like just completely different powertrains. And the torquey GTI powertrain is way easier to live with on a daily basis. Like you don't have to like rev it and shift it. But so they probably were like, hey, we should maybe put a little more torque in these. They did the same thing with the S2000.
Make it a little more
2004. So yeah, and the thing is, what's always interesting to me, we pointed this out on our Honda Civic episode, is that the Civic Si now has a higher resale value than the GTI. So
because we always look back and we didn't realize we had it so good when they were the high revving ones.
Yeah, but also the high revving, Volkswagen may not have the same reputation for quality that the Honda has.
All right, Mr.
That's
Caparelli.
the use of the phrase "may not."
Yeah.
Okay.
Jonathan, what are you drinking?
He's just shotgunning beers right now. I love it.
So happy to be back in Europe.
I know. He's like, he's gonna. There's just gonna be another.
I've never seen Jonathan maintain even strain throughout the entire thing. He's just like,
Jonathan, what are you drinking? Mao? Are you drinking Mao?
No, this is Spanish apple juice.
Okay.
Spanish apple juice.
Jugo de manzana.
Is that Spanish Fly brand?
Yeah, I know a guy got an orchard just down the way.
Okay, so this Infiniti Q50, which was the replacement for the G37. So first of all, the name was dumb because this is when they rolled out their new, Q50, Q60, Q70, and then the SUVs were QX.
But you have to.
Well, so that was dumb.
How much do they hate that now with all the QAnon crap?
Okay, what's the problem? What's your beef with Q?
Well, I think it made the cars. I think it made the names more indistinguishable.
Oh yeah, totally.
Nobody ever learned what a Q50 versus a Q60 was.
That was Johan Denishin who went to Infiniti after
he got out of there.
They did the same thing at Cadillac.
Yeah.
But
you can't sell cars without alphanumerics. That was his quote.
Okay, so number one, the name was dumb. Number two, they put in this 2-screen infotainment, which is bad. It still exists today, and it's still bad. Number three, they most of them, at first at least, had this steer-by-wire system, which basically they explained it saying that it was better for all these new active safety, like driver assist features. But it made the car drive really weird.
Yeah.
And like the chassis wasn't that different, and the engine wasn't that different compared with the G37, but the new steering thing just kind of like ruined the car, I always thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took them a few years to get that sorted.
And especially at first, especially when it first came out, it was just like tuned really strangely, and you could adjust it. Like you could just adjust the weighting of the steering, but also the feedback, and it was just all really artificial and kind of like.
I mean, it made you the development engineer.
Like it just did not. It was not a smart move, I think. And like,
well, it's like they saw what BMW did to the F30 steering, and were like, we can make this worse.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think there was though a huge like a gamification thing. They were like enthusiasts and gaming and Forza and PS5. Why would you want?
It was really miscast, I think, and
missed
so
everything.
Yeah, it was not good. Also, they didn't change the engine. It was the same 3.7 liter. And I think by this point, that engine had kind of become pretty uncompetitive in like, compared with the 335i or whatever it was at the time.
It's the VQ37. This is the 3.7 liter version of the VQ engine.
Yeah, and so that had been in the G37 previously. They also got rid of the manual transmission, which was kind of a nice. I mean, I don't think it was necessarily like the best manual ever, but it was still nice that there was a manual. And then in the Q50, there was no longer a manual.
Did they, when they went to this generation, did they abandon the FM platform with the front mid-engine system?
No, it's still the FM platform.
Okay.
I do think they've like kind of improved it somewhat since it first came out, because they now have the twin turbo V6 in it, the 3 liter, which is a nicer engine, but
it's
even still. And actually, the one thing I think they did improve was that it looked good. But overall, it was not a better car. I think it was worse in many different ways. I also found, so for like a year or two after the Q50 came out, they kept selling the old G37, but they renamed it Q40, which I always thought was really weird. And I feel like at the time, this was like way cheaper. It was like, I don't know, $5,000 cheaper or something, and they were still selling it. And it was just like such a better car in so many ways.
Was this V6 or did this have a big 4-cylinder in it?
There was a G37 and then there was a G25 at one point.
Yeah.
Which was actually a 2.5 liter V6.
It had a little V6.
V6.
Oh, it was a little V6, yeah.
Yeah, which I never drove one of those, but I always thought it sounded really good.
I drove one of those. They sound good from outside. It sounds good from inside.
This was the beginning of Infiniti's hugely confusing era that they still haven't left.
Yeah, they're still in it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think they're still kind of working on that steering. I don't think it's ever really been.
I think they're working on their entire product range.
It's the light marketing touch of Johann Denishen. It really is.
I think they're working on their entire reason for existing.
There you go. And like, they did this 8-part series on their origins, and like it's almost depressing to go to watch the beginning and be like Marlon Brando in On the Waterfront. Like you could have been a contender, and now
they were terrific.
They were for a while because
they had a bunch of I mean, G37 was on 10 best, G35 was on 10 best. I mean, they were good cars.
I just drove a QX60 and it was pretty excellent. The basic
one. I mean, sure, but it's not an FX.
I mean, it's better than the old QX60, but I'd rather have a Telluride still.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's. I mean, with the conventional transmission now and everything, it was a nice car.
Whatever you like.
I think that
whatever
you like the Venza.
Oh,
yeah, that is true. Yeah, I mean, you think all the executives you went and met with at Honda saw that episode last week and they were like, I can't believe we listen to this guy.
If this were Tinder, I'd see some swiping left right now on Burley's thing.
I have close personal friends throughout the industry.
Not anymore. Not after these episodes.
Time for a drink.
Joey.
All right. Okay.
Mr. Colwell.
Are we playing Burley drinking games?
Now for a drink. Let's see.
All right. So I thought about trolling everybody a little bit. Let me share screen. And I was gonna troll Pearly, and then I was gonna troll Joey a little bit.
Yeah. Those are cool. I like those.
Because this was the
Yeah, but the AE86 was its predecessor.
Yeah. I mean, the predecessor to this was a much cooler car.
Yeah,
but it's,
I agree.
It's the
oh God, you're right.
It's the oval show, and these things. Let me.
What about a Yamaha V8?
Yep.
Well, it's a Cosworth block, Yamaha heads.
The 90-degree V8.
I guess
Yeah.
the older
60,
one had a Yamaha V6.
60-degree V8. It was a 60-degree V8.
No, it's a 90-degree V8, and then this V8 went into the Volvos. This became the Volvo V8 later.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
You want to bet? How much do you want to
Here
bet?
we go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is what went into the Volvos.
I will bet you $1,000.
I'm pretty sure we had this exact.
I go to Africa for 3 weeks. I come back and Pearly is still challenging Kuroga on Carfax.
So
like, really?
But anyway, so like this is our we covered this car extensively when it was new. I mean, there was like a preview, there was a preview test, there was a road test, there was a comparison test. This was the I think it was a Fred Gregory penned road test, and
purple.
But I just want to point out that you guys are wrong. This is a 60-degree V8.
Oh, sorry, 60. Yes, of course. You're absolutely right. Because you're absolutely right about that. But it did go into the It became the Volvo. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It became the Volvo B8444S engine.
Correct.
Okay.
And wait, and Casey, are you comparing this to the previous show or the?
Of course. So
okay.
Here we have. I still consider this. I mean, they call it a second gen Taurus show. I still think that's pretty much a first gen Taurus show.
That was a major mid-cycle refresh.
It was a major mid-cycle refresh, but these cars. So the old car, I mean, 6.4 to 60 in this was like 93 or something like that. I think.
Right.
And it was a
92,
right?
and it was a manual. I mean, it was a really cool car. It sounded awesome. They looked cool, and then they go to this thing, and it's like, a V8 that does 60 in 8 seconds. I mean, like that is
an automatic.
Yeah,
and I guess 4-speed automatic. It's a 3.4 liter that should have been cooler than it was.
Look at that gearing.
But
for 50.
I know.
I think it's impossible to understand how much this destroyed the Taurus brand. The Taurus, there were 3 cars that sold in the United States. It was Taurus, Accord, and Camry, and the oval redesign of the Taurus destroyed it. It just collapsed. Demand for the car
radio.
collapsed.
Yeah, and this is a radio that killed the DIN format for radios.
Yeah.
Go back to that 97 comparison test.
Was it trypophobia? What's the one people who don't like little?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so this was a 9-car comparison test, and I opened it up. So here we'll get to it. I just passed it. I know.
Wait, what were you saying, Jonathan?
I think that radio reminds me of
clusters of small holes.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's called tryptophobia, I think.
Yeah, trypophobia. Like that radio looks like just clusters of small holes that would give a lot of people the willies.
This was a weird mishmash of cars.
Wait, tryptophobia is a real thing?
Yeah, trypophobia.
This conversation is continuing?
Yes. We're gonna get into tryptophan. We're gonna get into tryptophan next.
That's next in the dictionary.
Yes.
TRYPT.
Anyway, I started looking at this giant comparison test, and I was fully expecting to see 9 Taurus show, but it was like 9. Okay, 900.
How are a Saab and a Taurus even in the same test?
And then I'm like, wait, Acura's 6th place tie, and then
that
I was
Taurus
like,
is really expensive, Joey.
But,
yeah, I get it, but it's just so much bigger.
It doesn't matter. It was by price. It wasn't bigger inside. It was just bigger outside.
That's true.
And it had that. I mean, like, look at those overhangs, and it had that stupid spoiler.
Terrible.
Wait, so what car?
So bad.
It's just
there was a three-way tie for sixth place.
It was a four-way tie, wasn't it? Four-way tie?
No, it's three. The
It was three.
Acura, the
No, I
Taurus.
think it's four. I think it's four.
Uh,
Oh my God! Hey, do you want to bet $1,000 on this too?
Have a drink.
No, it's three. The
Acura?
Acura, the Infiniti, and the Taurus.
Acura,
Acura,
Taurus.
Taurus,
Infiniti.
The KC Freeze.
Infiniti.
Oh no.
Okay.
Three.
You're right. I'm
Oh my
right.
goodness, Casey, you count like a European. Where'd you get this thumb thing? Where'd that happen?
Okay, keep going.
I mean, the opposable thumb was.
This-
I mean, that's like missing
this
link.
is 3 in America. Not-
Keep scrolling.
none of
Anyway, and then I saw the Cadillac wasn't in front. I was like, okay, wait. So the cat didn't beat the Cadillac. It didn't beat the Mitsubishi Diamante, which I don't know how that ended up that high. But it was the Lexus, the
Lexus.
ES301.
Who wrote this? Bedard. I guarantee
No,
Bedard.
it's Frank.
Oh, 100% this is Bedard.
No, it was Frank Marcus.
Oh, it's Frank. Bedard is definitely on this test.
I think he did this right before you got shuttled off over to Motor Trend.
He left Motor Trend.
What?
What a weird test.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single car in that group that I'd want to own. Maybe
They're
that's
all pretty bad.
I would.
would
Oh,
take
the Volvo maybe.
Yeah.
I would take the Saab and the Volvo.
The car, you never, every Catera is gone. The Cateras are all gone.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Millennium's
Oh my
gone.
goodness.
Diamante's gone.
Those Lexuses are still around.
Was the Catera a Commodore in Australia?
Yeah, I think it was.
Full circle.
Or no, it was an Opel Omega, I think.
Oh, it was an Omega, and it was a.
Yeah, yeah.
Was it a Senator or was the Senator gone by then? I can't remember.
The Holden Senator?
Yeah, or Opel.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, it was a. Oh wait,
I
was it a Holden?
I gotta say, in favor of these cars is that the Nissan engine and the V8 and the Chateau are at least pretty engines to look at.
All right, I just see a car stuck. This has to be a Phillips comparison test.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not. I think it's too early for Phillips.
No, it's Phillips.
No, Larry Griffin.
Oh, Larry Griffin.
Yeah, Larry Griffin. I am the
Look at that beauty.
That's-
Yeah.
beautiful engine.
And it's
So
What
was
does
the-
the
what was the-
V8 look like?
Yeah, it's pretty good looking still. It's still good looking.
yeah, the V8 looked good.
Yeah,
The two
It still had the cool.
too.
Yeah, it still had the cool intake runners, but
And a two-stage on the 6. Probably a two-stage on the V8, although I don't remember. Although with that 8-second 0 to 60, it might not have been a two-stage.
Here's a question though: what if they had done a manual on the oval?
It would have been a lot better.
I don't think it would have saved it.
Yeah.
I mean, it thing looked turdy going down the road, right?
It was a disaster. It was a redesign disaster. People lost their jobs over it. This, and the Thunderbird in '89 killed. The Ford design department just got swept away out of it. They were just terrible cars.
When was this car on sale? What were the years?
96 to 99. So it was a pretty short-lived car.
Yeah,
Right.
it must have been expensive to develop its own engine too.
Yeah, they did the Vulcan V6 was a redesign. Was that what was called the Vulcan?
When did they change the name to 500 as well? Was that 2000?
That was 05.
Yeah, those
Yeah, and then they changed it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Malawi, yeah. It was
No,
like
no,
when you-
all they said, you mean we're not making the Taurus anymore? That's insane.
What was it? What was the Taurus X before it was Taurus X? What was it called?
Freestyle.
Freestar.
Yeah.
Freestyle.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Freestar was the minivan.
And it was funny actually. And then in researching this, I found out that this this oval Taurus shared a platform with the Windstar, with the minivan of its era. Yeah. So
This is like
according to
Nothing
Wikipedia.
good
there's-
about this.
I can't remember the name of the book. The book was written about how this redesign went and how
Oh
bad.
yeah, I heard that's a good book.
Yeah, and I can't remember. I read the book. And I was just like,
Is
Are you
that
serious,
Michelle
Joey?
Haynes'
Were you joking?
what? You frozen up, Jonathan.
What's up, John?
He's got Spanish lockjaw.
You can't see me?
No, we got you now.
No? I'm still
Yeah.
frozen?
No, you're
Nope,
good.
you're not. You're good.
Oh, okay. Were you joking about that being a good book, Joey?
Someone told me it was good.
No,
Okay.
yeah, it's is it called?
Car, a drama of the American world.
Yeah, I just found it too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I read the book. I thought it was an interesting book because it talked about the development of the car, and it was a disaster. It's kind of like there's a book called about the making of the movie Bonfire of the Vanities. That's is also about, like making a disaster. The disaster itself is a good story.
But I do want to point out that those Tundras, the previous gen Tundra, like 07 to whatever, those are, it's in the truck world. That's probably a pretty good buy if you can find one that isn't rusty.
They are really good. First generations are the creme de la creme. The second generations are a good deal.
Okay. Are you guys ready to see the winner?
You already have.
That's what I wanted to hear.
So this is a great Eclipse, second gen Eclipse, still had the turbo engine, still had the turbo 4GE, still had all-wheel drive.
3000 GT spoiler or wing.
I remember these because they didn't have a front end like in Tony's photo here. They got kicked. You couldn't find a photo.
I didn't take these photos. This isn't my car. I found a listing, which is more than you do half the time.
Okay.
What's with the offset power bulge on these?
I think is there an intercooler? It's not an intercooler. I think it's just.
Yeah.
Is it plumbing? Is it?
I think it's functional.
Yeah, I thought it was a turbo plumbing.
I think the 4G6 engine had the
Oh yeah, that terrible plastic.
So then we get to this Eclipse, which is still competitive. They offered a V6 and it finished second in a car and driver comparison test, which is shocking.
That's shocking.
Yeah.
What's that? What issue is that? What issue is that?
Look, it beat out an Integra GSR.
What issue is that, Tony?
1299. It beat out a Celica GTS, which had the 2ZZ, and then it finished second, and it finished second to the Prelude. So a good car, still a good car. And then this happened. Boom. The last generation Eclipse that killed it until they put the Eclipse name on an SUV.
That could be our long-term car.
No, our long-term car had the tan and gold interior.
Oh yeah, it had that. Oh yeah, it was like an orange interior.
Yeah. It was not nice.
Oh.
First of all, look at the gaps on that hood. So,
Well,
but the other thing,
the kids call that gapped.
Yeah, these were built on an SUV platform. They were gigantic cars, heavy, wide. I remember the turning circle was awful. All-wheel drive was gone. And they put in the 3.8 liter V6 from the Galant with 265 horsepower. So it was kind of overpowered for what it was too. It's a weird car. I think they called it the US. It was a US platform. They called it something like a Project America.
GS, I think.
But the platform that Mitsubishi developed was, they were going to make
just for the US, which was Endeavor and the Endeavor SUV. It was just trash.
And the sedan was the. I can't remember the name of the sedan. It's gone out there. It's like called the Project America platform.
The Galant, wasn't it? The Galant.
Yeah, the Galant. It was just
It's
awful.
No, it was a horrible car. So he had a lot.
It was called the PS platform, Project America.
Project America, right? Yeah. And it was a
It
mistake.
didn't go so well for them.
No, but they're still alive, barely. Yeah, that's the interior, Casey. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
No,
we took that. You know where we took that car, Tony?
We drove it out. It was out west for a long time before I lived out here.
It was out west, but we took that to buy the Oldsmobile.
Oh, did we? This was our ride to go buy the Oldsmobile diesel?
Yep.
That reminds me of a Via-Cross.
No, not the Oldsmobile diesel. The other Oldsmobile.
The Aurora?
Mitsubishi.
The Lemons car?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Pearly, what's that?
Just gonna say is that today Mitsubishi is. I find there's a lot of Mitsubishis I really loved. I mean, I really love the Diamond Star cars. I really love the. I really love the one I can't whose name the Evo, the Evolutions.
Yeah, the 3000 GT was awesome. Yeah, and then the 2000s hit and this thing arrived, and I don't think they've recovered since then.
Well, I think
was the 3000 GT awesome?
Yes.
Really awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. All-wheel drive, all-wheel steering, 300 horsepower.
I mean, it was cool, but it was a big. It was a
really
heavy thing.
Well, the ones I really loved was the first generation Eclipse, the Eclipse GSX.
Yes, exactly.
The 3000 GTs were cool, John. And so were the Dodge Stealth.
No, cool. I agree. Cool. I agree with. Awesome. I think is a bit strong. And I think the second gen Eclipse was the best.
But now
And they had that folding hardtop too. That was pretty sweet.
yeah, but
Wasn't that car like super expensive during?
The folding hardtop
Yeah.
was certainly.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it was like 90 grand or something.
Once you get to like the GT VR4 with the it was nuts.
one of the great, like the Galant VR4 would have been one of the great cars to have. I mean, that was just a bitching car. But now Mitsubishi's just shadow. They got Mirages and a bunch of SUVs. And
But this car's lameness,
credit, no problem.
this car's lameness started that horribleness.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm the winner this week.
I don't know about that.
All right, Jonathan, you went first. Commodores, Lionel Richie Commodores to Commodores without Lionel.
I mean, speaks for itself.
Definite
I think
thumbs up.
it's Australian, but I'm okay with it.
What
Tony, but wait, no. Tony, how do you give a car a thumbs up that you can't drive in California?
Oh,
Here we go.
Okay,
I
all
can
right.
drive a Buick Regal, and
I just want to point out that hypocrisy.
I thought you would have taken care of this before I came back. Are we still here?
We're still on this.
Oh my God.
that was your terms of your return or that.
Hold on one moment. My God, that is good apple juice.
What is your favorite car? Or what do you think made the worst transition?
Every entry this week was pretty damn good. Let's see, Civic.
Wait, Civic.
That's
Infiniti,
What did Casey have?
Taurus, show.
Oh God, yeah, Taurus is strong.
Taurus is strong.
But I'm actually gonna go with the Infiniti because it was. It really was miserable what Infiniti started doing with that.
Wait. I'm sorry. Is Pearly finding Matchbox cars of the cars we've been talking about?
I hope so.
No, he's gonna have some free ads. It's just more free ads for his Matchbox stuff.
eBay. Look for my cars on eBay.
What's your eBay handle?
DigiDaisy.
What was that?
It's DIGI DAISY.
DigiDaisy.
How is it not Santa Barbara car lover?
I don't know. I'm sad. That's why. I live a sad life.
All right,
Where did you get DigiDaisy from? Sorry, I just need to know what, because that just seems like not you.
Between me and my wife, it was lost decades ago. I don't remember what it was. It's been a long time. Anyhow.
I'm gonna look up your selling history and buying history.
No, you're not.
So yeah, the Infiniti.
Just do it right now and share the screen.
No, the whole, instead of a commercial at the end, we'll just have
there's like a 10-year gap between the last time I did anything.
Okay, Pearly. The Accord. I'm sorry, the Civic.
Oh, Civic.
Thumbs up, 100%.
Yeah.
Great choice.
And I think this is a tap-in. I think the Taurus was disastrous. I think that it's so obviously the Taurus destroyed the brand that Ford had established for itself and just pissed it away. And
but the SHO though didn't. You're talking about the Taurus in general, and that wasn't presented.
I'm using that as representative. The show also went away too. The show is also destroyed. I mean, they just.
Well, my Eclipse killed the Eclipse line.
Yeah. It was. I mean, remember the Taurus was the best-selling car in the United States. They were selling 400,000 units. By the time they did that round thing, they were down to less than 100,000 units.
That's not true. They were above that.
It was all the fleets. It was really way down. They killed it.
It was all fleet.
Anyway, okay.
It was aliens.
Very well this week.
I'm gonna have to go look up the sales history.
It was aliens.
Joey's Infiniti. Thumbs up, definitely. Good pick. Now, what are you picking?
I feel like the most stark difference, which I appreciate, is the Holden Commodore, just because it went from rear-wheel drive V8 manual to front-wheel drive V6 automatic. I mean, that's a disgrace. And like, it had such a good run, and then all of a sudden, they completely gave up on that whole idea.
Disgrace.
So
yes,
that's my pick.
Haven't you presented one of those as a Regal before on this show?
Yeah, but it didn't have the Regal name. I would say it's not as esteemed as the
Smirched.
Commodore.
This is
It's
great.
And it's the delta, not the car itself.
Yeah, it's the
delta
change
between the two
generations.
cars.
That fair point. Fair point. All right, Casey, with the Taurus show, 100%. Great pick.
We all understood the assignment this week.
I think he's talking to
Rarely
one of
happens.
us more
Yeah,
than
no,
others of us.
that's what the end should be. It should all be us doing a TikTok of the I understood the assignment.
Yeah. It's rare on this show.
I'm taking that as an attack upon me.
I think attack is strong,
That's correct.
but I think it's more an encouragement.
Joey. Correct.
It was an attack on Burley.
All right. What are you picking?
Yeah, I'm going with the Eclipse because that was where when I first had the that was the first thing I thought of, and then Tony said he was doing it, and I was like, ah, and I said, wait, you should do the second to third, and then I'll do the third to fourth, but then we didn't.
So I've got a point. Jonathan's got a point. Joey's got a point.
I'm the only one without a point.
And Casey has a point. I think Casey. Oh well, you guys got to vote on my car.
Yeah.
So spiteful.
Fuck that bull.
All right.
En español, por favor.
Sorry. Now I remember why I went to Africa.
Profanity froze it up.
Sorry, can you see me?
Yes,
Oh,
you're good. You're good.
I give you a thumbs up.
It's between the
Thumbs up for the
Commodore.
Eclipse. Thumbs up.
Okay, it's between the Commodore and the show, and I think I'm going to give it to the show because that was such a disappointing show. And I can drive them both in California.
Would you want to?
Oh. Yeah,
Well,
I got to get my rule sheet out again to figure out how to win these things. Goodness
Well,
gracious.
thank you to the viewer who sent this great idea in. Please keep the ideas coming. There were a bunch of good comments in the last video for good ideas, so we're going to get to them. And thank you for watching, and we'll try to do this weekly now that Jonathan's back.
Like and subscribe.
Subscribe.
We're gonna try. Next week we try.
That was good.